So in this video, I have over 9 gigabytes of storage, so we shouldn't be cut off. I shouldn't have been cut off before, but what they're telling me they're doing is over me in an apartment above or in between apartments. I don't know how they're doing it. They put something that drains, interrupts with my cell phone, and it tries to overlay things. So overlay audio, interrupt it. I don't know if it's in the apartment above or between the floors or in the walls. I don't know. But I'm telling you folks as much as they tell me, so that whoever is involved in this should know that the people you're talking to are talking to me. So it seems like they have some sort of way of intercepting the cell phone and draining the battery, because the technology they use, if I'm using, say, a small amount of memory, it overlays my video and uses more memory. So some of the videos I'm putting up there are like 20 something minutes, but 4 point something gigabytes. Can you imagine? So today's video is going to be me telling you a lot of the stuff they're saying, so that the gang stalkers will know that their fellow gang stalkers are telling me what they're doing. I don't know what kind of common sense that makes for criminals to tell me what the other criminals are doing when they're all criminals. Maybe it's a way of trying to get me to go to their side, making me feel like I can, that they're helping me in some way, but they're not. So today's video, I'm going to show you the damage in the apartment, and I'm going to tell you more about some of the stuff they're saying. And they woke me up at this time. I don't know if I told you, but they have a pattern. They used to wake me up every few hours because they said that's how this is, they interrupt your sleep. So I guess it goes back to your circadian rhythm. And if you are interrupted at the same time every night, after a while, that's the time you will normally sleep and wake up. So at first, the pattern of waking me up was like they wanted me to sleep at, say, 11 something, and then they'll wake me up at 2 something. Then they tried to make me up at times that would be significant, like triple threes, or because they're criminals, 420. You know what that means. I'm old. I'm 48. I don't hang out with people who use any type of drugs, not even for any purposes, for medicine. So to me, that wasn't significant, but for them, it was, they started to knock and say, 420, 420. So that just gives you an idea of who's involved in this. And then they started to wake me up at 5 something. Then they started to wake me up at 8 something. So 8 something was really the time that mattered to them. So if you guys are familiar with these types of things, I don't know what 8 something means. It was like after 8 o'clock. So anyway, what they do is, it seems like they have this talking in the background. And if I'm talking to you folks, they'll yell something louder to say another number. So I said 8 something. If in the video that you listen to, it says 8, a specific time, put it in the comments for me. This is the only way for me to do this. I said 8 something. If you heard them say a specific time, please put that in the comments. And if I hear it when I play this back, I'll put it in the comments below. The other thing is, so they wanted to wake me up at a certain time. That goes back to the comment I heard them make about circadian rhythm. They put the phone to your head, near your head, to check the EMS frequency or field, your electrical magnetic field wave, which goes back to your brain waves. Then they play certain beats. And then if they're waking you up at specific times, then they can help control your sleep pattern. So what they would do is, they would hit me with a laser, magnetize me, and then heat me up so my body would twitch. So that was a way of waking me up. I could be falling asleep like this, and I'd feel something, and my head would twitch, and I wake up. So first they started waking me up that way. Then they started banging to wake me up when I wasn't waking up. Then they started putting some sort of fragrance in the apartment. We have convectors, and they're connected to fellow apartments. Then I'm near the compactor room. Then they started walking back and forth in the hallway. So all these things are to wake me up. So I'm connecting it to keeping me from sleeping. So sleep deprivation. That is, and then being hit with these things and hit in the temples. I don't know if you're getting this on camera. Let me see. Hit in my temple area. That is designed to keep me in pain, which is inflammation, angry, disrupting my sleep. Those are things that would suddenly get me involved in doing the wrong things, because when you're sleep deprived, you're angry, you're emotional. So they talked about brain mapping. They're not really brain mapping to me. I don't know. I don't know. And I'm putting this out there publicly. What it seems to me that they're doing is trying to control my emotions. So if you can trigger my emotions by making me upset at a specific time, getting angry, and then you arrange one of these setups like I told you they did, then if I get angry, I can get in trouble. Or if you can control me and get me to the place where I would be sleeping all the time, then you could take advantage of me. If you can get me to the point where I'm crying, then I would look like an emotional wreck. If you can get me to the point where I am confused because you're talking in the background and I'm trying to listen to someone else talking, or you're following me around and I miss my bus stop or something goes wrong, then you could put me in a more dangerous situation. If you can get me to the point where I'm laughing, that's another thing. They're trying to make me laugh in a way that doesn't correspond to the situation, then I look crazy. So this is a pattern with these people. And when I put out the stalkers will be exposed, you can also see the pattern in what I'm putting out there. If there's a pattern of making me seem like I am someone who isn't a credible person, when on the one hand, I'm clearly a credible person because I haven't had these issues, but you say I'm not credible. If that exists and then you do these things, it starts to make it seem like these people were really trying to get something from me. Make me look insane, make me seem like I'm a liar, make me seem like I'm a bad person, recruit people to harass me. And what would they get out of it? So this video is going to be titled, What Do They Get Out of It? Well, just now, when they're doing all this talking, they kept saying that they thought they were going to have someone move in with me. And they thought if you live here in Co-op City, you automatically become the shareholder if something happens to the shareholder. That's not true. You only become the shareholder if the shareholder is no longer with us, meaning passes on, which they thought they were going to do to me. They thought they were going to kill me. Or the person moves and you are listed on the lease. You must be listed on the lease. So there, I told you in a previous video, they plan on having someone move in. You cannot just move in and then you get the equity in the apartment. That's not how it works. The other part of that is the person who leaves, if you're still alive and you leave, you get your equity when you leave. There's no such thing as making people stay here and take your equity from you and steal your equity, because that would make a court situation. So you see how this scam was going to work, but it protects both sides. It protects somebody who might have moved in here and didn't want to steal your equity, because that person will say, well, I'm not on the lease, so I'm not stealing your equity. But it also protects the shareholder, because the shareholder says, well, I'm not going to let just anybody move in here if this is their intention. So I don't let people live with me because of this situation. It wouldn't make sense. Why would I let someone move into an apartment where people are constantly monitoring everything I do and banging on the walls? It wouldn't be a safe situation. Anybody with sense would realize that. But the other part of that, so the part of protecting the shareholder, protecting someone who would live here, is one part. But it also means that if there is a scam going on where people are moving into people's apartments to steal their equity, you need to be advised to be careful of that. That's another scam. I call them the Schemey Scamies. I've learned more about scams by these people talking to me than I've learned in 48 years of living in the Bronx. I've lived in the Bronx all my life. I've never heard of these scams until these people started talking to me. So let me get into showing you some things, and then we'll continue what we're saying. This is the damage on the wall. And for some reason, they said they're putting some sort of weird smells into this apartment, either through the convector or through throwing things down in the compactor room, or walking past the door and spraying something. Now, they said, why don't you take a video of us? Well, you want to know why? Because that's a trick. The scam in that is that if you are innocently in the compact room and I smell that thing, then I would blame that person. That isn't my job. I'm realizing now all the schemes and the scams are designed to create complete chaos and complete confusion. So let me just go near these watermarks for you folks. And I'm going to just slide over to, I won't show you all the damage on the ceiling because it's late and I think it would photograph better in the morning. But I'll show you some of whatever they're using, it slides across. And it slides across either between the walls or in the apartment above. So let me get that for you. Here's the next bit of damage. Now they're saying that this is from perspiration. This is not from perspiration. This is leather. And you can tell the texture of the leather changed because of whatever they're heating this area up with. So as I'm going to go over the areas that's damaged. It's not perspiration, folks. This type of leather is meant to last for years. Years and years and years and years. This isn't perspiration. If it was perspiration, this would be more damaged. Okay? Because when you sit, your butt's here. And you see there isn't a butt mark. No butt mark. Why is there here? Because these are the areas that they heat up. This would be more damaged also. You know, they're not that clever. That's a word they use. I didn't know the word clever meant, let me sit down for a moment. I didn't know the word clever meant sneaky. I thought clever meant smart, but they use the word clever. So if you hear these people talking about clever, that means sneaky, tricky, conniving, you know, that type of thing. This is not from perspiration. This is from heat. But if you say it's from perspiration, why would perspiration in this winter happen this way? Unless you're heating that person up, right? That's the only thing that would make sense. So let me show you some more damage that they've done to this property in this heating up process. You see these marks here? These are marks that look just like the marks I showed you on my body. And it's not just on one table. Here's another table. And this has a mark here, which looks like a laser mark. And then you see the mark down further on the leg of this table. So this table has all these marks. It never had any marks before. And then you have the side. Let me show you this. Look at that. So you have it on this side as well. You see that, folks? Now you go to this table, and this table has another laser mark. And here's another one right here. I don't care if you see what's in the background because you can see I'm kind of moving things around, folks, to kind of get all the damage they've done documented. I'm going to show you another one. Here's the big coffee table. I'll show you the marks on the coffee table. Here are the marks. So whatever they're using, it's not only drying everything out, including me and my mom, it's damaging things. It's damaging it in real time. They thought it was funny to make me upset by damaging my property in real time. Like, oh, look what we can do. Let me show you this. You see this? So this type of wood and finishing should not have that type of damage. And you can see it. So before I go on, I want to show you a quick craft. So this was made from a box, and I'll show you more about this after. But I made this out of a box, recycle, reuse. This was yarn that I threaded to make it look like rope. And then I just put an old sheet and use it for storage for some artwork. So instead of it just kind of sitting in a box, I wanted to make it decorative. So let me go. I probably will do this craft soon. But you can see how I have better things to do with my time than dealing with these people. But let's go see if we can hear some of their sounds. Okay, so I'm taking you on a little walk throughout the apartment. You'll hear me walking, listening to their sounds. I shut everything off. Nothing's on. No convector, no fridge, nothing. That sounds like something. I don't know what it's supposed to sound like, but it sounds like something. So that was a sound. They knock to interrupt my videos, but they also say they knocked to mark where they would edit out something. They have no right to edit things out. Let's see if we hear any more sounds. I'm walking now from the kitchen into the living room. Let's see. I'm going to walk towards the door. You guys can tell me if you hear anything. Is there a hum there? I think I hear a hum. It's in the hallway, I know. But let's see if I can find them talking, if they're going to talk now. See, now that's how you can tell it's not neighbors talking. See, they wanted to trap me again, another setup. I'm going to move something out of the way so you'll hear a little sound. They wanted to trap me into thinking that this will sound like neighbors talking. It doesn't. It sounds like a hum, right? So it does not sound like neighbors talking. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sit and tell you more information. At a later date, I'm going to let you hear the TV. Not today. Today is, a day when we're going to have this conversation, and I can tell you more of the stuff they said. But they tried to, again, another setup was they wanted to make me think it's neighbors talking. It's not. It's being picked up by technology, and it doesn't sound like neighbors speaking. So you can hear the hum. That's part of the technology. Whatever signal you can hear, that's part of the technology. So I'm about to put I shut the power off just a moment ago so you can hear it, how it sounds without anything on. So now I'm going to put the power back on and I'll sit and talk to you guys. Okay, so now I'm just trying to see if I'm on camera. I think I'm on camera. Okay, so what I wanted to talk to you folks about is how they can make symptoms. If whatever devices they're using to create these wounds, I'll call these laser marks that you saw on the tables on my body, wounds. And then they magnetize and heat it up. You see how your hand can start to shake? And it would look like look at that. It would look like I have some sort of illness. Do you see that? Is that on camera? That's from this. It's fake symptoms. And I don't have an illness that would make my fingers shake. Do you see that? Is that coming out on camera? So that's part of this. Why would they do that? I'm going to put it out there for you folks. So it's not only creating fake symptoms, it's creating an environment where I'm unsafe. And then it's committing crimes, breaking into this apartment, stealing my mother's social security card. They did that. And her birth certificate. They did that. There's a police report. If you look at my video from July 2019, you'll see that I told you guys I was going to update you daily. I didn't. So currently, they're now claiming that they're the ones who said I would update you daily because they think that this will give them sort of like some sort of notoriety, street cred. Doesn't that sound like something gang members would say? So gang members, look, we're going to create an illness. And look, watch her video and you'll see it. That's the point, folks. They don't have common sense. I'm not shaking, right? I'm shaking now, right? Look. And now watch. I'm not shaking. Why am I shaking like this now and I'm not now? Because it has to do with your muscles. That's the difference. So I'm going to show you that demonstration one more time. This is with my muscles relaxed. This is with my muscle not relaxed. My muscle not relaxed. Yeah, I said it right. So muscle relaxed, muscle not relaxed. How do you see that? Folks, this is showing you how these people work. When your muscles are relaxed, this works. But if you have muscle control, it doesn't. I cannot believe that they're doing this right now in real time is what I'm telling you. Muscle relaxed, muscle not relaxed. So if your muscle is not relaxed, you're not shaking. Because what I'm telling you is the lasers seize the muscle. The magnetism and the heat allow them to make your muscles twitch. So it would look like I have something that would make my muscles twitch. If you have muscle control, which means I don't have an illness, That makes my muscles twitch. This is making my muscles twitch. The heat is making my muscles twitch. That means that I don't have that illness. This to me is, so that's part of it. The next part, I want to talk about these dreams. They said they created this system where they make people dream to mess up their memories of things. That's another thing. Like, how would I even know about something like this? So if you hit me in the head at the temples, the top of my head, and then the back of my neck, and then you claim you're heating me up so hot that I would kind of have some sort of dream where it seems like I'm experiencing something that I'm not experiencing. Why would you do that to someone? What would be the purpose of wanting someone to be so hot and perspire so much, be heated so much that they would think they're experiencing something they're not experiencing? That just seems bizarre. Again, it seems like a lot of things to make things appear to be what they're not. And when you want things to appear to be what they're not, it's clearly a fraud. It's clearly a scheme. It's a scam. The Schemey Scamies. Muscle controlled, muscle not controlled. A scam. So I think on that note, I may record another video later. Instead of arguing and getting upset or documenting them walking back and forth and then falsely accusing someone of something, I want to leave you on the note that this is all a big scam. If there's some way of heating people up so much that when they're sleeping, they have some sort of weird experience that I haven't had. When I'm sleeping, I'm just sleeping. I wake up and I'm just sleeping. They're trying to scam people. So I don't want that to be undone. I want to make sure that scam is out there. And so if this is happening to you folks, if you're in River Bay, I'm in 140 Bellamy Loop in Co-op City. So if you're having the same experience in this building, call the FBI, call the police.